All right, well, today we wanted to just kind of join again. Here it's Sunday again. A week has passed since our last video. It's been a good week.
It has been a good week.
Lots of good stuff just going on, just living our regular life. I mean, there's no complaints. We're almost through January. Next week's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we're doing some preps for that too, so we can share some ideas that we've come up with or that we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to be doing some experimenting in our kitchen, making some Super Bowl appetizer type food, and we'll put them up on our website and the groups so you guys can maybe get some ideas, because it's a really good food, man. You can eat well, and you don't have to make sacrifices to eat right and to live right and to maintain a healthy weight. Right? You don't have to.
Just have to plan it out a little bit.
Yeah,
it doesn't take that much.
All right, so today I kind of wanted to talk about, so here, give you a background if this is the first time you've seen us or followed us. I'm Kevin, this is Shauna. We've been doing a ketogenic diet
for
now
a year and a half.
For over 18 months, right? Mm-hmm. I've lost over 100 pounds. Shauna's lost
72.
Has lost 72 pounds.
It goes up.
But I mean, you're within a couple pounds, right? You're maintaining that weight, right? So
we hold water.
The way we do it, though, is different than a lot of other people do a ketogenic diet, is in the fact that we're not here being complicated and tracking macros, and not even tracking calories for that matter. What we do is we will eat, one thing we do track is our carbohydrate intake, right? And that's less than 20 grams of carbohydrates per day.
We're lucky if we get 5 sometimes.
Yeah, but the reality is not like we're sitting tracking that with some sort of tracker. It's what we're choosing to eat, right? We're eating.
We just know now, after a year and a half, it's kind of become second nature.
A habit.
Right? Yeah.
So what we do is we eat pretty much fatty meats and non-starchy vegetables, and that's pretty much it, right? So we're eating lots of meats, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not doing portion control. We're not worrying about any of that. What ends up happening, though, naturally, because your body gets used to that, is that you will have a calorie deficit just because you're not able to eat as many calories because you're eating primarily meat for nutrition. And that's very satiating, right? And we're eating, is it the protein that causes it or is it the fat that causes it? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're eating fatty cuts of meat, and so we're kind of covering our bases in that way, right? So we're eating fatty cuts of meat, non-starchy vegetables until we're full, and then we just don't eat when we're not hungry, right? We only eat, typically we eat twice a day, not because we're planning to eat twice a day. It's just we have such large meals that when you do it that way, you don't have room to snack later, right? You stay fuller longer. Since you're not snacking. I used
to be a huge snacker.
Yeah, since you're not snacking, you're by default eating less calories, whether you realize it or not, right? So that's how we've done it, and we're going to be putting more information out there. We might do some like what we eat in a day videos to see, kind of give people an idea of what we're doing. Might be kind of boring because it's like, okay, I ate a hamburger at lunch, just a couple hamburger patties at lunch and then steak at night. But we drink coffee during the day. So, I mean, we'll just kind of give you an idea of that and kind of some of the activities we do. Yes, you got to have a coffee, right?
I'm coffee queen.
By the way, hello, Missy. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Missy.
Long time no see there. Missy was one of our Taekwondo buddies 10 years ago now.
Yeah,
a long time.
It's been a long time.
A long time. But, we're fellow black belts together. We're instructors together doing Taekwondo.
And you were.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Good people, for sure.
Missy.
Mm-hmm. So that's how we did it, and that's how we continue to do it, and why we want to continue doing it, right? Since what this video about today is, reasons we want to stay doing keto, why it makes sense for us to do it. And so reason number one is what we talked about just a little bit, was that we're no longer controlled by appetite, right? So by eating until we're full, there come these times, right, especially if you're working, if you have to have long meetings and things like that, since you're not hungry all the time, it's much easier to get by when, you're not looking at the clock. Oh my gosh, lunchtime is here. I better eat, before this meeting or whatever.
Of course, other people are still driven by that. So.
Yeah, but we don't have that problem anymore. When you're traveling and you're flying or something like that, you're not so concerned. Oh my goodness, I've got to eat before I get on the plane because I'm going to be really hungry and That's no longer a problem for me anymore because I just don't get hungry. Matter of fact, the other day I was just was actually trying for one time to do a thing where I was actually tracking what I eat so I can write a blog post on it, right? Not used to doing that because I don't usually do that. But so I was tracking what I eat, and I had some leftover lamb chop that was in the refrigerator, and I got it out. I was going to have it for breakfast, right? So it was just like a half a piece, maybe like 2 or 3 ounces. And I took one bite of it, and I got distracted, and I set it on the table, and I forgot about it, right?
And
I actually tracked
it.
I tracked it that I'd eaten it that morning, right? But I only had one bite of it. So I assumed that I ate it. So here comes 5 o'clock in the evening. This is in the morning when at 5 o'clock in the evening. Like, okay,
I went to clean off the table to set it for dinner. And
yeah, Kevin, you can't leave this out. The dogs might go crazy over that. And I just forgotten about it. So I had one bite of meat in the morning and forgot about it. Thought I'd eaten a breakfast, just totally spaced on it. And then 5 o'clock came around. I'm like, as we're getting ready to think about feeding the dogs, still wasn't hungry. But it's like
one bite of the lamb chop.
Yeah, and she goes, oh, you know, they're like, oh crap, man, I'd already accounted for that as a meal, so I had to take it back out. So I probably only had about 800 calories that day, not even trying, right? Because dinner was about 700 calories. Yeah. But that's the thing, right? When you're eating in this way, within a few days, I mean, a week tops, your appetite completely
transforms.
You're so
satiated on this way of eating.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say diet because it's not diet for us. It's a lifetime commitment.
Once you've done it for 18 months, you can stop calling it a diet, right?
Yeah.
At this point, when it becomes consistent.
We're veterans.
This becomes autopilot, right? You just eat the same types of things all the time. You're not having to think out your meals. You don't have to plan out these complicated meal plans. Well, here's what I have Monday for breakfast, 3 snacks, 2 dinner, lunch. That's not a problem anymore. Once you get into this thing, it's just, matter of fact, you forget to eat sometimes. And that was kind of my point, was I forgot to eat that day when I was really trying to track my calories.
I don't think I ate that day either. So.
Just you get busy, right? Yeah. When you're not hungry, that's great. So your productivity goes up too, right? So we're not controlled by appetite. So that's the number one reason I just don't want to ever leave this way of eating, right? Number 2, and this was something that we found out maybe about a month into when we started doing keto, was we're now no longer controlled by inflammation.
Right.
And
he has RA and I have lupus.
Got rheumatoid arthritis. I have ankylosing spondylitis.
For a while, I could hardly walk. And he was having so much trouble that he was on Humira. So, for us, it's really helped both our rheumatoid arthritis and lupus a lot.
I no longer take Humira. I take maybe an Aleve once a week now, where I used to have to take it 3 or 4 times a day. That's a huge difference, right? I mean, so I'm not having to rely on these harsh chemical processes to tamp down my immune system. It's more under control, not totally inflamed all the time like it was. Remember, if I look at my pictures, there was times when I did lose a lot of weight, but I never look uninflamed, right? So this is the first time in my life without medicine and just by controlling what I'm eating.
You'll have to post that picture later of you and Evelyn. You were actually, you had the shirt on that you would run the marathon. You had already run the marathon.
The Peachtree Racing, but I was still, my face was still really inflamed. Right? It was still quite overweight.
We were both running 20 miles a week, at least.
It's a huge difference. So not being controlled by inflammation. And then Shauna's felt a lot better too. Remember, she's got lupus and she's not constantly in pain. And you can add probably
my migraines
to that too.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge difference. Why would you ever want to go back to living that kind of lifestyle where you're having to deal with chronic illness, right? And then that doesn't even include, the obesity and the heart disease factors and things like that. I mean, that all have been reversed. But I'm just thinking about these glaring things.
Doctors are amazed at our blood work, that we've come so far. We've lost so much weight, and we're doing so much better physically and internally. So.
And by the way, and you hear a lot of people say, well, if you just lose the weight, a lot of these things disappear. It was probably 2 to 3 weeks in when we started doing the ketogenic diet that our blood markers fixed themselves. Our blood sugar went down to normal. I no longer needed insulin. I no longer needed these things, and it stayed that way. Right? So it's not just about losing weight. It's about changing the metabolism of your body, right?
Healthy.
And that's a big deal. It's not just about losing weight. These things happen before the significant weight loss happened. And it stayed in place, right? It's always good to lose weight, but it isn't just about the weight loss that makes these change.
We had a couple more people join.
Chris and
Ann.
Hello, guys.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate all the support we can get. Feels good.
And I think, Chris, you the Sword of Keto, if I'm not mistaken, right? So thanks for joining us, man. All right, so the number 3 thing that I would never go back to eating from a ketogenic diet, in my case, was tooth and mouth pain.
Oh, yeah, it was horrible.
So always, we were both having to use the sensitive toothpaste. I was always using the sensitive mouthwash all the time. I was always in a lot of pain. I mean, I wanted all my teeth out. I mean, I can seriously, I just want them all out. This is terrible. I haven't had a toothache around in 18 months.
It's so freeing.
Oh my gosh, it's so, I can't believe the difference that is. I mean, how much that impacts my productivity.
I can smile more now because,
my teeth are still not great.
You have head pain of any kind?
I did so much damage by eating a high-carb diet in the past. But at least the damage has stopped. The pain is gone. And that is hugely important to me because I can remember, so I've been at the job I'm at now 5 years ago when I started. I remember sitting in the back of the room just holding my face back there because I was just trying to get by, right? Just trying to get through the day. There's so much mouth pain, making dental appointments and having teeth pulled and root canals done. But, I mean, it's such a huge difference, no longer having that time tooth pain. All right, so the next one is that I wouldn't go back to not being keto is not being ruled by cravings, right?
Yeah.
And again, the way that we do it, talk about it again, we only eat fatty cuts of meat and vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, primarily as our nutrition. Occasionally we might have an indulgence day where we make a keto dessert or something like that. But I am no longer, looking at chips and fries and things like that, and they're drawing me in that I want to have those. That chain has been broken. We are no longer controlled by edible
mindless
foods.
Eating.
Yeah, mindless eating. Absolutely.
You need to be we're more mindful of what we eat now. Instead of, opening a bag of chips and just, mindlessly eating the whole bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's for fuel,
right.
Not for, just because it's there, just because we see it. Now we're being more mindful of what we're eating, and it's actually helped.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now I can see other people mindlessly eating and go, you know what? I don't want that garbage.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there, I've done that, and I'm not going back.
It really makes a difference. I mean, I can even think when I go into work now and I see, sometimes I'll have a whole bunch of food set out, and I used to be like, oh wow, there's donuts or there's this, and I want to go take one, and now I look at it as like, that food didn't do me any favors. It's not, if I were to eat it now, it wouldn't have the same dopamine effect that it used to have in the past.
I don't want the inflammatory foods.
I choose to be healthier and not driven by those cravings. And once you change your mindset, and again, I talk about the mindful eating, so that when you eat, that you're eating for a purpose, right? That you're eating to get full.
Because you're hungry.
Yeah.
Because you're actually hungry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you learn what actual hunger is, it's a game changer, right? It's not just I'm eating by the clock. It's
well, it's noon, man.
It's time to eat.
I need to eat. Or 9 o'clock, because you've been all our life we're pushed into. You need to eat breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. You need to eat. You need to eat. Actually, I feel better now by not eating breakfast all the time. Now, if I'm hungry at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to eat.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to be good
food. Like this morning when you cooked the dogs' food, which the dogs are pretty much keto too. I mean, yeah, they are keto.
Mm-hmm.
When you were cooking their hamburgers, I got really, really hungry. And that doesn't usually hit me that early in the morning. But I ate.
Right.
I ate a hamburger.
And then when you do eat, because you're waiting until you're really hungry, that food is the best you've ever had, right? I mean, it really tastes good. So
it is more satisfying.
You appreciate what you eat more because you've waited, right? instead of just eating the next time to eat. It's like food's boring. And that's why you need so much variety. But when you eat less often, you need a lot less variety than you need in the typical way of eating, for sure. And it makes a difference. I mean, I can't stress enough how not having these cravings. Now, here I want to say one thing. I do sometimes get a sweet craving at night. And lately I've been trying to, instead of going and grabbing a keto snack or, something like that, or even a, fat bomb or whatever, I'll go make a little hamburger. And my friend calls it a hamburger hack, right? I'll eat a hamburger, eat that, and have that.
And then you're not hungry anymore.
I'm not hungry. It takes care of that. It's healthy food. It's got collagen. It's got protein. It gives me what I need. And it totally rewired my craving. Right?
I'll admit, I still love my chocolate.
Mm-hmm. It's okay to have chocolate.
And you're young. Mm-hmm. Even guys like chocolate.
It's okay to have chocolate.
I still eat my chocolate.
But I try to prioritize it.
But I eat that once in a while.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the next thing that I would never leave the ketogenic way of eating is that I am no longer ruled by the pharmacy. Right? This goes back to, we talked about, not having inflammation, not having tooth pain, all these type of things, right? Where before I was having to take, so think about all the medicines I was taking before, right? I was taking a bunch of medicines for blood pressure, a bunch of medicines for type 2 diabetes, medicines for autoimmune disease, statins, all of these things that I was having to be controlled every day. I take this once or twice a day. And the expense of all these things, right?
All our medications.
Yeah.
We save a lot every month now because of it.
That's right. Matter of fact, I had to adjust my flexible spending because we weren't spending enough, right? I was going to lose money because we weren't spending enough on our
money on the table.
Yeah. So I had to scale back my flexible spending way back, like $1,000, and to scale it back so we wouldn't leave money on the table, that's a good thing, right? So we were able to save money in that way. So we're no longer ruled by the pharmacy. I will admit I do take a half of HCTZ a day for my blood pressure, but I was taking 3 meds. So now I'm taking a half a med. Mm-hmm. That's a heck of a lot better.
And you haven't checked that in
a couple of days. We'll check it again. Yeah. All right. And
had to remind them.
Because it's always normal, but I just check it once in a while. And the last thing, this is kind of it's like a non-scale victory. So losing 100 pounds, it has made it so I can now buy off the normal rack.
It is so freeing.
Right? I don't have to go to the big and tall section anymore. I can now buy medium shirts. I buy
I'm
size
not in the
32
XL size anymore. And that to me, to be able to buy off a regular, a medium or a large shirt and not go to the extra larges is freeing. I suggest this to every woman out there. You will just feel so much better about yourself, and men too. Mm-hmm. Not to be sexist, but hey, you know what? Us women, we like to shop. So now I have to buy all new clothes.
The downside is you're having to replace your wardrobe every couple months, and that gets a little expensive, right? But
we're not spending it on medications and stuff, and all the junk food. And a lot of people say that keto's more expensive. I don't pay $5 for a box of cereal. I don't pay for all these extra side dishes that I felt like we had to have on our plate because, that's how we're taught in school. That's how we're taught our whole life. You have to have your starch, your vegetable, and your meat. Mm-hmm. And meat's supposed to be kind of small part of it. Mm-hmm. And it's opposite of what it should be. No starches. You don't need to make those side dishes. You make a vegetable if you want vegetables. A lot of people have gone completely carnivore, and sometimes I am too. So
I would say
it depends on my mood.
4 days a week, I'm pretty much carnivore. I don't eat any vegetables at all. But it's not because I don't think that vegetables are bad. I just prefer to eat the meat, and it's been working out.
I don't have to cook as much, ladies. Mm-hmm. That's freeing.
Yeah, and that's actually a challenge we have. We're trying to make more.
I'm trying to plan it out, but
quick pictures for foods, and when you're not hungry and you're not,
then it's hard to cook.
It's not a bad thing. It's okay.
Actually, the thought of food when you're not hungry kind of nauseates you.
Right. Matter of fact, we just had a nice
that's odd
breakfast.
too.
We had our egg cups.
I can't even think about food, and you were talking
about an hour and a half ago, right? We ate our breakfast, right? So it was right now it's 2:30. About 1 o'clock we had breakfast, and that was because I wasn't hungry. She had a little snack in the morning, but that was our breakfast, right? And that's a very typical thing for us, is to eat breakfast about 12 or 1 o'clock, and then we'll have our dinner probably about 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. If we're hungry.
If we're hungry, and that's it.
We haven't planned anything tonight.
Oh yeah, we do. You're gonna make your sausage gravy.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna film.
Yeah, she's gonna film her making her sausage gravy, a keto style, using cream cheese as the base instead of flour.
No.
And
Don't need it. It's more flavorful.
So that'll be one more thing that we can put up on our groups. Matter of fact, this morning we didn't video it, but she took some pictures of the egg cups that she made, so we'll put those out there. Yeah. So the ability to wear normal clothes, to not have to eat so often, to not have to include the food equation in all your planning, right? You're just eat when you're hungry.
Being mindful.
The other thing is we typically do.
We're mindless eating.
We don't have it today because we plan to do the sausage gravy, but we keep our sous vide going most days, most of the time, right? So we'll just keep
lamb.
We'll keep steak or lamb going in that all the time, and we'll just take it out when we want it and then replace it and then have it the next day. So planning is so much easier for meals. But that would be another reason that I would never go back to eating a non-keto way of doing it, because it's so much easier to stay.
With all the other food again ever.
Mm-hmm. When you take meal preparation out of the mix, that gives you so much more of your day, right? Productivity is just amazing.
He's usually the one that cooks the lamb or steaks in the sous vide. So what do? I do a vegetable maybe once in a while if we feel like it. I'll do a cream cauliflower a lot, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, which get to me, but I still eat them. So I'm not in the kitchen as much, but this week we're gonna do it so we can create some videos and pictures for the upcoming Super Bowl. The big game. Can't say Super Bowl. The big game coming up, and we're gonna have some appetizers to show off for the big game. And if you guys want to think about it, if you want to put in your comments what you guys are making for the big game. We'd love to see pictures and share away. We want to be here to support you as much as you support us. So
right, and if you could also put in the comments, what changes in your life has happened because of the way you eat, right? Yeah. How has it helped? I mean, we've got other groups too that we will share this with. Where we have our keto for autoimmune disease, we have our keto for autism, and this is making changes for people, not just about weight loss, right? If I can say anything, weight loss is a very happy side effect.
It is.
But the reality is it changes your metabolism, it changes the way you feel.
I don't hurt so much.
That's
anymore.
First, right? And the fact that it changes your weight is great. I mean, that's a super thing, but it's not. I've come to find out, the number one thing. It's actually probably 2 or 3, because the first thing is you feel better, your health overall gets better, you get more energy. I'm not just saying that.
I originally did it to lose weight, but I was going along with him because I was really concerned because he was diagnosed with diabetes. Yeah. And that scared me. Mm-hmm. That really scared me because I was heading down that path too. I was going that way.
Well, in truth, I would say that most of America is an undiagnosed type 2 diabetic. I mean, it's just a fact. If you were to test your blood glucose at any given time, and most people don't. Only people that do are people that are diagnosed with diabetes usually. Mm-hmm. But if you were to go get a blood glucose tester, which by the way, they're very inexpensive.
Right? Yeah,
I think $20, and the strips are very cheap. Just test yourself out, see where you're at. If it's over 100,
maybe we need to do a video on that too sometime.
Mm-hmm. If it's over 100 when you're fasting, you might as well, pretty much, and that's consistent. You do that day in, day out. That you might just go ahead and consider yourself a type 2 diabetic, because your body's having to just pump out insulin to keep it down into a normal level. So if you're fasting and it's high and it's consistently high, occasionally you might have like 100, 105 once in a while, because your body is doing gluconeogenesis. It needs to create muscle, so it happens occasionally. But if it's a consistent thing where you're always over 100 and you're fasting,
then you're in trouble.
You probably need to talk to your doctor about your type 2 diabetes, and or just change the way you eat and then test it again, right? And that's what we did.
And make sure you definitely follow up with your doctor.
If you're already diagnosed with type 2 diabetic, talk to your doctor. Don't just go do something on your own. Make sure that you're getting, at least that you know your doctor what you're doing. Because one of the things is if you're on diabetic medicine, like be it metformin, be it insulin, and you all of a sudden take all the sugar out of your diet, you can actually put yourself down into hypoglycemia, right? And that's not good either, right? So you need to
want to see that happen.
To work in coordination with your doctor and test yourself, right? To see if it starts dropping, you might need to, back off on your medicine. That's why you got to work with your doctor. You can't just back off on your medicine by yourself. But if he or she knows that you are taking sugar out of your diet, that it might be a good idea for you to just back off on your diabetic medicines until you get stable, and then test it a lot. Right. And that's what I do, especially at first. I was testing myself every few hours as I was eating just to see what happened. And it just stabilized. The blood glucose stabilized. And the way we're eating it, it doesn't really spike. Now you have the option of doing continuous glucose monitoring as well, where you get it in your arm.
I've seen a couple people
so you can really get a good idea of how your body is impacted by what you eat. That really is a game changer too, right? Because once people realize that their blood glucose is being driven by what they're eating up and down. And as it goes down, you start getting hangry, you start getting those cravings, and again, so you have to eat again, goes back up.
Yeah, we don't have that hangry anymore either.
So, once it's stable, you don't run into those things, which also really badly impacts your productivity, right? When your blood glucose is going up and down,
brain fog.
You get the brain fog and the whole thing. Because all you can do is think about, oh my gosh, I've got to eat. I'm running out of energy, because you think you're out of energy. Because all your body knows how to do is quickly burn through that glucose. Once you become fat adapted, again, it takes a few days, maybe a week, 2 for some people. But once you get there, you no longer have those crashes, right? Because your body learns to utilize the fat from your body, turns it into ketones, rather than you having to go get that quick fix of carbohydrates all the time because you're eating for energy. We no longer eat for energy, we eat for nutrition, right? We let our body, because you're carrying around fat stores on your body. Why is the fat on your body? Because it's like extra energy, right? So isn't it a good idea to utilize the fat on your body, eat that, instead of always going out and eating the carbohydrates to get your energy? Eventually, you will find that you are much more productive that way.
Absolutely.
So that's it.
A lot more energy.
Yeah, more stable energy. I mean,
I was always so tired.
I'm not running marathons. We're just running. We're just normal day-to-day stuff. We'll do a little walk with the dogs and stuff. So I can't tell you that I would not need a carb because I'm not doing crazy workouts. But there's a lot of people that are doing, I think Zach Bitter, he's a long distance runner. He's doing it on zero carb. He's doing it totally carnivore, and he's setting world records. So it's entirely possible that we've been totally taught wrong about the carbohydrates sequence and what we need. The only thing you do is test it for yourself. It's completely tested.
I know is it works for me, and it works for him, and it works for a lot of people,
right?
And you have to find out what works for you, and keto works for most people. So.
Right. So guys, I think that'll wrap it up for today. So this was our video on why we stay keto.
Be mindful.
Yeah. Be very mindful of what you eat. All right, guys. Thanks again for following us. Be sure and join us on, we have a brand new website called sustainable-keto.com. We've got our Sustainable Keto Facebook page.
We're even ordered some coffee cups with our name on it. And,
we got some products coming out.
I'm excited.
Just for fun.
Can't wait for them to get here. So
some of them should be here tomorrow. Next
have
video
our coffee cups.
We'll be able to show off this stuff.
And our t-shirts.
So guys, again, sustainable-keto.com, our group Sustainable Keto
Please
Facebook page.
Share your success stories with other people, because you don't know who you're going to touch. You're going to touch somebody's life, and then they're going to think, God, if she can do it, I can do it. Why not? And then they do it, and then they touch other friends. It's just a domino effect. It's fantastic to inspire
a little
others.
Funny story from yesterday when we played poker was there's people obviously notice that we lost a lot of weight, right? I mean, it's because we've been playing with them for years. And this one guy, Ed, he said, you know what? I got an Instapot and I'm doing just like you do, guys. And I'm eating lots of vegetables now. I'm like, what's a vegetable? I said, well, that's not how we did it, man. We did it because people just assume that, I thought you guys, as a matter of fact, I thought you guys went vegetarian. Like, no, absolutely quite the opposite. As a matter of fact, I was a vegetarian for 3 years with very little success, right?
I had a fat face when we were vegetarian.
So, but that does, the thing was, it's kind of funny about he noticed the change and he just assumed that's how we did it. Mm-hmm. He was like in tilt. He was in tilting when I tried to tell him that no, this is the way I did it. He's like, huh?
It's like, what?
Because we've been so ingrained as to how to do it. I said, yeah, I eat primarily red meat, man. I eat ruminants. I eat goat, lamb, especially beef, and that just doesn't calculate. It doesn't compute to most people, but people notice, right? And so they can't say, well, they're just talking out their neck. They realize you've got something going on, and that's how that works.
Yeah, and we had the other guy, Larry. He bragging about juicing.
Yeah, he's talking about, oh yeah, I'm doing it.
They know we're health nuts, and they think that is impressive, but
I'm not impressed by kale.
I've tried juicing.
Well, in order to get that stuff down, you've got to add a bunch of sugar and fruit and all that to it to get it down, to make it palatable, which is totally sabotaging what you're trying to do anyway. So that's it, guys. Hey, thanks again for watching.
Thank you.
Please
share your stories.
Share, please subscribe. Join us on YouTube. Join us on Facebook. All those type of things, and we can help provide those resources that you need for you to be successful. And that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking to help you guys be successful. All right, guys. You guys take care, and we will see you next time.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.